Hey, what's up? Like, totally time for 90210.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the 90210 show. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife, Carol. How are you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Oh, it's been a good week here. It is July 8th, 19.
July 8th?
99. We're safe in July. It's safe July.
Sure. It's one of those days in July.
Safety July. Carol, we watched an episode of 90210.
Yes, we did.
Reach out and touch someone, or whatever the fuck it was called.
I want to reach out and grab you.
Grab ya.
Grab ya.
I wonder what
That's weird.
Is that in reference to what happens to Gina?
Maybe. Like, it really doesn't have I don't really know what that means.
I don't either.
Most of the time, it's pretty obvious what their titles mean, but...
Yeah, remember Breast Side Up?
No.
That was an episode of 90210.
What was it?
It was in reference to whether to cook the turkey breast side up or not.
Yeah. God, I was all scandalized for a minute.
Breast side up, by the way, is the correct way.
So, this episode was kind of another exercise in futility.
Yeah, most of them are now. That's what I'm realizing that I don't like about this show is that nothing seems to matter at all. Like, there is there's no grand arc that everything's coming to. It's just whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like, a bunch of relationships blew up, and by the end, they all fixed again.
Yeah, why?
Don't know.
Yeah, I guess let's get into it.
Okay. Who do you want to start with?
I don't care. I'll tell you the storylines that I remember that exist.
Okay.
There's Steven and Janet's and their little boy that they're tasked with this episode. So there's him. There's David and Shadow Stevens, who he called somebody else, Chris something, or I don't remember what his name is. No, Sunny Times or whatever. I don't know what his fucking name is. But there's David and his storyline. There's Donna has a story, I think. Yes.
Yeah, Donna's parents.
Oh, yeah, Donna and her parents. Yeah, that's a storyline. And then there's the whole Gina and Matt and
Kelly and
Dylan thing.
The four of them are always all intermeshed, even though, like, the girls hate each other. Although they started out being nice to each other. It was weird.
Yeah.
That only lasted a few minutes, though.
Well, they only do that to drop the other shoe.
Yeah.
Anytime that Kelly's being nice to a girl, anytime Kelly's being nice to another pretty girl on the show, I'm like, oh, okay, something's about to happen where she's going to be a bitch to her.
Right. So
Anyway.
I guess we can start with them.
Okay.
At the club, they are having a magic night.
Yeah, at a nightclub in Los Angeles, they've decided to have a magic show.
Very weird.
With a terrible magician who is apparently really good at hypnotizing, though. But then maybe he's not?
No, that I think is the whole point. So, like, when he's coming on stage, there's all this shit that happens that's kind of funny.
Actually pretty scandalous because he's coming on stage. Okay.
Dear Lord. But it's kind of funny, like, the thing goes off, and he's like, oh, there's supposed to be a bunch of smoke, and then he picks up something, he's like, oh, that's supposed to have a bottom, and like, I thought that was part of his act.
Me too, I thought he was going to be like an Amazing Jonathan-type comedian.
Right. But no, I think he really just sucks that bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he calls Kelly up on stage to hypnotize her. And he says, I won't make you do anything too embarrassing, and he makes her cluck like a chicken.
Right. Classic stuff.
And then he asks her, I'm sure a beautiful woman like you has had many suitors. Which one of them would you want to be stranded on a deserted island with? How do you not know that's an explosive kind of question? After he tells her she has to tell the truth.
Right.
I mean, like, you're asking a woman which one of your many men you've been with in your life, like, calling her a whore. No, just kidding. Do you want to be with? I mean, that could go bad. She's sitting with a dude. What if it's not him? Which, by the way, it was not.
Right.
Instead of Matt, she said Dylan.
Yep.
So everybody's pissed. Everybody's pissed at everybody. Everybody's upset about this. And she's just like, what? What happened? I don't know. What did he make me do? Idiot. I don't believe
you sucked
her.
His cock.
Right.
You don't believe her what? You don't think she was hypnotized?
No.
Why would she say that then?
Because she wanted to.
Interesting idea.
Huh. Because this magician also hypnotizes a little boy.
Yeah.
And we find out later. Oh my God, Mark. Okay, we just finished recording an episode on American Pie. Get your mind out of the gutter. Uh-huh. You guys can listen to that tomorrow. But I know we spent a lot of time talking about sex. That's not what this episode's about.
Okay.
At least not when we're talking about children. Okay, now I'm all derailed. I derailed myself.
Yeah, you sure did. It was fun watching you just like spin around though. You were saying that he hypnotizes a child and we think it works, but it turns out it doesn't
right.
work.
Which makes me think that Kelly was also not really hypnotized because he can't do anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I think she was just playing along and she went with her heart and said the truth.
Right in front of Matt.
Yep.
All right.
Balls out.
Wow. Okay.
So, then everybody is like I said, everybody's mad at each other. And Gina's like, I am leaving. And she goes to take off. Oh, first, she slaps Kelly in the fucking face.
Yes.
I can't believe it. Like, all Kelly did was answer the question of who she'd want to be on a deserted island with. Mm-hmm. She didn't say, hey, Gina, I fucked your boyfriend.
Right.
She said, if I had to be on a deserted island, I'd be with your boyfriend.
Yeah.
That does not come to the level of being slapped in the face.
No, I'd be mad at her, but yeah, that's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And then she's really, like, offensive to her. Because we kind of cut out some of the episode here. But Gina's been bragging about how she's going to hang out with Oksana Bayul.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
The Olympic figure skater. And she keeps talking about it, and she's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be at Magic Night because I'm going to hang out with Oksana. I had a feeling we weren't going to have Oksana Bayul in the episode, and she's not.
No.
Her assistant's there, and her assistant says, hey, you're fucking house sitting, and you're doing this as, like, she's like, I'm doing it as a favor to Oksana, and she's like, well, you're my fucking employee, so here's the fucking money, and you know, like, whatever. And she, like, orders around and stuff like that.
And basically, Gina just takes all the orders and ignores them.
Yeah, and Gina's upset because at one point in her life, she was ranked higher than Oksana Bayul, which I don't believe.
You think she's lying?
I mean, like, she might be telling the truth in the show, but I don't believe the show.
Okay.
There's no way. Like, Oksana Bayul was a phenomenon from the time she was, like, 10. You know, or something like that. So I don't think I don't think this character as presented, who never made it to the Olympics and was doing the Ice Capade stuff, would ever have been ranked higher than Oksana Bayul.
Sure. Okay.
But anyway, she's like, so she's bitter that her life didn't turn out the way she wanted it to. She was supposed to be a big figure skater or whatever. I guess it's kind of like a Tanya Harding type situation if you think about it. Because she's from the wrong side of the tracks and she's not as respected and stuff like that, and things didn't work out, but she didn't, try to cripple someone.
That we know of.
Right. Although she would. We know she would.
Oh, she definitely would.
But, yeah, so she's been bragging to everybody about this and stuff. And when they get to the club before the magic show, the woman shows up and she's like, you fucking killed Oksana's fish.
Yeah, she has it in a bag and she like shoves it in her face. Like,
she's like, I missed one feeding or whatever. And she's like, well, it's fucking dead. It's a $3,000 fish. Oksana felt pity for you. That's why she gave you this job or whatever. Fuck you. You're a piece of shit. And she was a really nasty woman.
I mean, she doesn't swear anywhere near as much as Mark, but yes.
Yeah.
And she
did
says,
with her eyes.
Right. She says that the Corvette, which she wasn't supposed to use except for emergencies, has to be back in the morning or else.
Yeah, it's a Mercedes.
Mercedes, whatever. See, to me, it would be a Corvette. Anyway. So that's on her mind, too.
Mm-hmm. But Kelly's nice to her at the beginning. She's like, oh, she's a nasty woman. Don't let her bring your evening down, you know, and all this stuff and everything. And the stuff she was saying, it doesn't make her a liar, really, in their eyes. I don't think it should anyway. Because it's like, she was like, oh, I was friends with Oksana Bayul. We used to train together. That is apparently true. But they're not on the friendliest terms right now, I guess. So I guess that's kind of the...
Yeah, because Oksana's busy being famous and she's not.
Right. But anyway, so then after all this happens and she slaps her and stuff like that, she's like, oh, you're fucking, you're a liar or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, so she slaps her. She's, yelling at her for what she said or whatever. And then she goes out to her car, to Oksana's car.
Yeah.
And finds the tire is, flat.
Wow, it sucks.
So this dude comes up and he's like, hey, I can help you with that. I can fix your tire. He's like, I need a ride somewhere. Let me fix your tire. You can give me a ride. We'll help each other out.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, no, thanks. And then he just grabs her. He has a knife and he's like, get in the fucking car.
Yeah. And she pulls out some, fucking, I don't know, ninja moves on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's a tough lady.
It's pretty crazy.
But yeah, she gets away.
And she gets away. She runs, and, Dylan's there. She runs into his arms.
Dylan and Kelly are both out there.
Says that there was a guy, and Dylan goes running after him. Don't do that.
Yeah, she said this guy had a knife and came after me, and he goes, right, you don't have a knife. You don't have a gun. What are you doing?
Right. It's crazy. But he goes running after her, and he just screams, there's nobody here.
Yeah, he looks around. The guy's gone. Well, the guy is either hiding under a car somewhere, or maybe he ran off when you were, hugging her or whatever.
Yeah. And so then Kelly's like, oh, yeah, I know what happened. You made it up because your boyfriend didn't come running out to you or whatever. Because you're a fucking liar. You always lie. You lied about Oksana and stuff like that. And Dylan is he doesn't, defend her or says he believes her or anything like that. He's just there's nobody here,
Yeah, he doesn't defend her in any way. She fucking deserves so much better than him. I hate them together.
I really do, too.
And, at one point in the episode, I think it was her, he says, I don't want to lose you, right? Yeah.
No. Later.
Yeah, later.
Yeah. So after all this happens, because it seems like he doesn't believe her, she leaves or whatever. I think it's that night, maybe.
Or maybe the next morning. The next morning, because he sees a paper. He sees an article in the paper.
Yeah.
And he goes to her house.
Yeah, he sees it on the news or something like that. But yeah, he goes to her thing, and he's like, oh my God, I just saw the thing. They found the guy.
He's raped 4 women.
Yeah.
He forces them into vehicles.
Yeah, found him with a knife or whatever. He's like, I could have lost you. And she's like, you already did. Or you did or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And he deserves it.
Yeah.
He's an asshole. Mm-hmm. He's not an asshole to Kelly. He's an asshole to Gina.
Yeah.
He has no respect for her. So he shouldn't be with her.
I agree. 100%.
So then with Matt and Kelly, I don't even,
Matt's
he's upset
because of what she said.
Yeah, but that's it. The whole episode is just he's mad at her.
She doesn't do anything to change it.
No.
Other than saying oh, it's dumb or whatever.
I didn't mean that.
He was the last person I saw before I came up on stage.
Right.
That's probably why I said
Yeah, nothing made her.
And he's like, I'm going to need some time. He's like, time's up.
Yeah, she's walking out of his office. He's just okay, time's up.
Yeah. And
okay.
then a kiss.
Why won't they let them break up?
I don't know. And then later, Gina forgives Dylan, I guess. He comes over to apologize or whatever, and she forgives him. So then they start kissing outside the beach house.
Okay.
They're hugging and kissing.
Before that though, yeah. Kelly talks to Gina, and this is part of why, because Kelly is you need to let stuff go or whatever. And Gina's can you promise to let Dylan go?
Oh, yeah.
And Kelly's okay, I promise, and walks away.
Yeah.
So then Gina's okay, I'm going to go get him now.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? Just because she promised to let him go didn't mean anything about what he's going to do.
Exactly. And he's not treating you with respect at all.
No.
But so they're outside kissing and everything, and Kelly's at the window staring out at them kissing.
It's so creepy.
And like Dylan like kind of sees her and like
they're making eye contact while he's kissing Gina.
Uh-huh. And then it fades to black and you just hear
It's awful.
But no, seriously, like it's fucked up.
Yeah. So like the whole episode, we're thinking, and this happened last episode too. We're thinking Gina and Dylan are going to break up. Kelly and Matt are going to break up. Kelly and Dylan are going to get together. Whole episode. Mm-hmm. Again, for nothing, because they all get back together at the end. What is the point of all the conflict? I mean, I guess they think we like the roller coaster.
We don't.
They think we want to be on this ride. We don't.
I guess that's what they think. I don't know what they think. I don't think they know what they're doing.
No. And then for Donna, her parents are talking to her, and they're like, "Oh, you're such a big girl now. You can handle some bad news."
Oh, big girl! You're such a big girl. You want some cake?
What the fuck? Yeah, it was weird. And they tell her they're getting separated.
Yeah.
And she acts like this is the worst thing to ever happen to her in her entire life. She's a grown-ass woman, yeah. Right? But like, she doesn't live with them anymore.
She's like, I know it's mom's fault. And it's like, it should be because, and it kind of is, I guess. But like, because she sucks, her mom.
Her mom's a bitch.
But she's like, it's probably mom's fault. And then she blames her mom, and her mom's like, it's not my fault this time, actually. He wants to get a divorce, I don't.
Yeah, because she brings up how her mom cheated on him. And like how her mom's just generally not nice to him.
Yeah. And then she tries to ask her dad, she's like, hey, mom says this is all your fault. What's going on? Why is it your fault? He's like, I don't want to talk about it. It's personal or whatever. And Matt can't give you a reason. And she's like, what the fuck? Yeah. So he's completely shutting her out. And then she tries to get... She calls over a Catholic priest to try to intermediate here. How famous Catholic priests are for knowing what relationships mean. Right?
Like, yeah, not the best relationship counselors. But, like, she lies to both of her parents to get them over to her house. She tells her dad that she got a new stereo. She needs his help to set it up or whatever. And she tells her mom, what? I don't remember what the fucking lie was.
That she wanted to do Sunday school or something like that?
Yeah, that was it. So, Mom and Pastor are both there because they think she's going to do Sunday school. Dad shows up for the stereo, and she's like, yeah, actually, haha. I was just, wanted you guys to talk. and, like, the pastor's like, I'll talk to them, but later I need to talk to you about, deceit, Donna. Like, really?
Yeah, that's stupid. That's what you had one line, and that's what they decided to give you. Huh? But anyway, so Noah goes and talks to his dad, or to the dad. And he's like, my dad was like this too, and I couldn't understand it, and he's a piece of shit, and he said no. Do you want to die? And they're on the golf course, and the guy's like, the dad's like, let me tell you, 2 months ago, I saw a friend of mine die. He died of a heart attack. And I thought to myself, I don't want to live with a bitch for the rest of my life.
Right?
So maybe I should, expand my horizons. And he was like, I tried to talk to her about wanting to climb Kilimanjaro. And she was like, nah. And he's like, what about skydiving? And she's like, motion sickness. And he's like, so she didn't even want to talk about anything that I wanted to talk about. And he's like, I can't blame her. Like, I've changed and she hasn't changed. Like, that's just, life or whatever. And he's like, well, how do you know if you didn't give it a chance? You didn't even give it a chance to bend. You didn't,
Oh my God.
And then he walks away.
So instead of being like, I don't know, Kermit, he's like a mobster with marbles now. I don't know.
Yeah, that's how he talks.
Okay.
You didn't give a chance to bend, did you?
You didn't give her a chance to change, he says. You didn't tell her what's going on.
Yeah, so apparently he's going to try.
So that's all it took. Now the dad goes to the mom, and he's like, oh, we'll work it out. I made us an appointment with the priest, and blah, blah, blah. Now, I also want to say, like, if he watched his friend die a couple months ago, I think that she's a shitty wife to not put two and two together that maybe he's going through, like, some kind of midlife crisis, something's going on, maybe talk to him about it. If she was just like, honey, how are you doing with that? Maybe they could have had a conversation that would have opened some doors.
Yeah.
Not that it's all her fault. I mean, he should talk to her, but
yeah.
She could also try a little herself.
Well, he did try a little bit. He said, "Can we do this? Can we do that?" And she was like, "No" to both things. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, it sounds like she shut it down with like no discussion. So I can see her doing that.
But I mean, okay, he said she has fallen arches or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds painful.
Flat feet, like me.
But okay, would you want to climb a mountain with your flat feet?
Well, I mean, I'm not big into mountain climbing, but I wouldn't mind doing like hiking or something. It doesn't bother me. Okay. It's like doing rough terrain hurts my feet more than it hurts some people's feet because I have flat feet. But it's not that big of a deal to me.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. She had a reason for that in the motion sickness. I wouldn't want to jump out of a plane. I wouldn't want to climb a mountain. I can forgive her not wanting to do those things.
Yeah, but if he really if he wants to experience things that he's been wanting to do for a lifetime and he hasn't done, then she needs to be open to some of that stuff.
I guess, or at least open. Hey, how about you go do that, and I'll be here when you get back.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. Definitely doesn't seem like a thing you end a marriage over.
No. But so apparently they're going to work things out.
Yeah. So again. Whole episode, all the shit for no reason because nothing changed at the end.
Yep.
They're still together.
Exactly.
That's what every episode of Now 210 is.
Mm-hmm.
Steve and Janet, they're interviewing this little boy.
Yeah. For a genius.
Yeah.
11-year-old that's going to be a sophomore in college.
Which is crazy. And not it's his second year of college. He's starting college as a sophomore because he had AP classes.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He's I got into Harvard, of course, and then Cambridge wants me, as well as Oxford, and he's going through all these things, and Steve's like, "What about CU? About where I went to school?" And the mom's like, "He doesn't do state schools."
Yeah. At one point, the kid calls him a dullard too, and he's talking to Janet, which is kind of funny.
He is.
Steve's just like, "Oh my god, I feel so bad for this kid. He has no childhood. This isn't right." He keeps going on about this.
Now, here's the thing. The episode is going to prove him right.
Mm-hmm.
But he's displaying an incredible amount of ignorance. There are different people that like different things. He's like, I could fucking beat him in any video game in the world. And he's like, do you know what the Lakers are? Do you know what they are? And it's like, not everyone shares your interests. You know what I mean? Not every 11-year-old has to be like you were when you were 11 years old. Not every 11-year-old is going to be into video games. Not every 11-year-old is going to be into sports. I do think there's an argument to be made for kids should be allowed to be kids when they're kids. But that's not always going to look the same way. Right. And there are some kids, and this kid might be one of them, that really like science and fucking books and studying and stuff like that. And that's just a different type of person. He might be really enjoying himself, though. This might be it turns out he's not fully enjoying himself. But, you know what I mean? There are kids that might be 12 years old going to college or whatever that they're not doing it because they feel pressure. They're doing it because they love this shit.
Sure. So, this kid meets the magician.
Yeah.
Why does the kid meet the magician? I don't
know.
Remember.
It's part of the Steve and Janet are giving him a tour of the fucking Peach Pit. Who fucking knows?
The mom just gives her kid to this newspaper reporter and his girlfriend.
Yeah, they're really responsible mom.
For a whole evening.
Yeah.
And the guy hypnotizes him and says, "You're just a dumb kid." And that's it. He doesn't unhypnotize him. He doesn't, give him any, he's just like, you're just going to relax and you're going to just act like any other dumb kid.
I thought it was going to be Office Space where where he's just the magician just dies or whatever. It's the kid's every day is the worst day of my life.
So then the kid, starts acting like a kid and, wants to go to Burgerland and all this stuff, and then you find out later.
I knew he was faking when Steve was like, "What's the square root of whatever?" And he's like, "What's a square root?" I'm like, "Come on."
Yeah. So we find out the kid's faking because he just wanted to be a kid, and Steve's like, "Aha!" But that's why I think Kelly was faking.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I know. I'm just bringing it back.
Okay.
So
let's bring it back together. But, so turns out he's faking, and then he talks to his mom, and he's like, I don't want to go to college right now. Like, in the future, but I don't want to go to college right now. I want to be a kid or whatever.
Which, like, if you already have all those credits, like, what are you going to do? Just take the next, 5 years off?
Yeah. What does that look like, not going to college? I'm curious about that, too. And how hard is going to college going to be if you are that good at school? Like, maybe just don't even take a full load. Just take a class or two.
Yeah.
Like, two college classes from would be, like, fucking nothing. Like, you don't have to finish college in a year like you probably could.
Sure.
Like, just do whatever, and you'll have plenty of free time.
But, yeah, his mom's just like, all you ever had to do was say something.
Yeah. There's no conflict whatsoever, and everything's fine.
And that's the entirety of Steve and Janet's storyline. Nothing to do with them. No. Just a storyline that does not matter.
Yeah.
And will never come up again.
For a kid we'll never see again.
Right.
She's like, this kid could cure cancer one day. And it's like, okay, 10 years in the future, are you going to do a 90210 show where this kid cures cancer?
Yeah.
Gotta bring it back.
They better not be doing the show that far in advance.
And then there's one more storyline, right?
No?
That's it?
Oh, David.
David, yes. David and Shadoe Stevens.
Yeah, David.
So, for those of you that don't know, Shadoe Stevens used to be on the Hollywood Squares in the fucking 80s. He's a radio dude, and that's it. Like, he's a radio guy. He still does a radio show, American Top 40 or something, like whatever the fuck it's called. But he's Shadoe Stevens, with the golden voice. He's that guy. And he was on the Hollywood Squares for, I believe, lower right square.
Interesting.
The Joan Rivers version, where Joan Rivers is the center square. Okay. Shadoe Stevens in the bottom right.
And
Louis Anderson sometimes.
You're not a lich or a vampire, and you know these things.
It was on in the 80s. Like, what the fuck? 10 years ago.
Right.
I'm a lich.
Whatever.
I'm not talking about the 1970s version with Paul Lynde.
I don't know. That's the point.
Yeah, Paul Lynde was I'm the center. I'm the secret square, everyone.
Okay. I've never seen a single episode of the show, so I don't know.
The Hollywood Squares?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you know what it is? It's tic-tac-toe. That's what it is.
Weird.
They ask them questions, and then the celebrity will give an answer to the question, and the person has to say if they agree or disagree.
Okay.
And if they're right, they get whatever they are, X or O, in that square. And they have to make 3 in a row, like tic-tac-toe.
Okay. So, yeah, this guy David's a huge fan of him, and he sees him at the Peach Pit because this guy was a radio personality in this world, too.
Yeah. Hey, I'm all washed up now.
And David's just, like, going on and on about, like, how much he, like, adores him and how he's the reason he went into radio and he's such an inspiration. And the guy's just like, whatever.
He really does play it off like he does not care at all.
Right.
And I don't know if that's bad acting or, like, what. But he feels very unaffected the entire time.
And then, like, literally, like, as David invites him to his show for the night. And he's like, yeah, kid, I'll be there. Like, we both thought he wasn't going to show up.
Yeah. But he's there.
Yeah.
But that's how he performs it. He performs like, yeah, I'll be there, whatever. Like,
so, yeah, maybe he's just a shitty actor. I don't know.
Well, he's not an actor by profession. He's been in a couple, like, things and stuff like that, but he's not an actor per se. He's a radio guy.
And then David's boss shows up to yell at him because he plays the song that this guy always closed his show out with.
Yeah, some kind of, like, fucking surfer song, yeah.
Yeah, and then, like...
He's like, David, you piece of shit. Play music from this decade, you fucking asshole. I'll fire you.
And then for some reason, David and Steve combine forces to force this guy to do David's show the next night.
Yeah.
Which seems real dumb. Why do you care so much about this guy that you're going to put your job in jeopardy? Like, I really thought he's going to get fired.
Yeah, so did I.
Because, like, your boss took the time to come down there to yell at you late at night.
Yeah.
Because of the student, and you put him back on the radio.
It's a bizarre situation. But he finds out that, like, the guy's just, like, washed up or whatever. He hasn't had a job in a while on radio and stuff. But But he goes in there and he's like, "Hi, I'm Shadoe Stevens," or whatever fake name they gave me. I'm back. He's like, he says, "I'm back."
Right.
And so whatever. The show's over. The fucking station manager comes over and he's like, "Oh, Dave." David's like, "Oh, was it? There was a accident or whatever. There was a thing." He's like, "We've been getting fucking calls all day, saying this guy's a great son of a bitch or whatever. We watch you on the station. We you'll afternoon drive time because of the older people. They'll love you or whatever." And
it's like, so dumb.
What older people were listening to David's show, by the way?
Right?
Where they could flood the things with like, "Hey, it's great to hear him again."
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
The whole thing's stupid, and it's not going to matter or have anything to do with anything, just like everything else.
No, Shadoe Stevens isn't coming back.
Right.
He's got a radio show to do.
And, like, I don't know who he is anyway, so it's not like it was exciting for me. I'm sure these producers and writers that are, like, 100 on this show were super excited to get to meet him.
Do you know how Shadoe Stevens spells his first name?
How?
Shadae.
Weird.
Shadoe.
That's stupid.
Shadoe Stevens. Anyway, that is the episode. Carol, tell people where they can hire Shadoe Stevens.
So you can write us at latefee1994@AOL.com.
Mm-hmm.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
You got that right.
And share the tapes with your friends.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.